पहले मैं महंगाई से बहुत परेशान रहती थी, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से मुझे महंगाई दिखती ही नहीं है। थैंक यू मोदी जी। पहले 70 रुपए का पेट्रोल मुझे बहुत महंगा लगता था, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से 100 रुपए का पेट्रोल भी मुझे बहुत सस्ता लगने लगा है। थैंक यू मोदी जी। पहले मुझे रोजगार के मुद्दे हर जगह दिखाई देते थे, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से मुझे बेरोजगारी दिखाई ही नहीं देती है। थैंक यू मोदी जी। पहले मुझे जीडीपी बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आ जाती थी और मैं इस पे सवाल करने से कभी नहीं चूकती थी, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से जीडीपी ना दिखने का बहाना मुझे मिल गया है। थैंक यू मोदी जी। पहले मुझे सिलेंडर बहुत महंगा लगने लग गया था, ऐसा लगता था कि बस अब खाना कैसे पकाएंगे, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से मुझे सिलेंडर के दाम दिखने ही बंद हो गए हैं। थैंक यू मोदी जी। पहले मुझे कोई खतरे में नहीं दिखता था, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से मुझे पता चल गया है कि हिंदू खतरे में है। थैंक यू मोदी जी। पहले मुझे लोगों की समस्याएं बहुत दिखाई देती थी, लेकिन जब से मोदी जी आए हैं तब से मुझे गंगा में तैरती हुई लाशें तक नहीं दिखाई देती। आई डोंट थैंक यू फॉर दिस मोदी जी।
दिल्ली में बैठी हुई सरकार ने वादा किया था कि 2009 में उन्होंने कहा था कि अगर हम चुन करके आएंगे, सरकार उनकी चल रही थी, फिर भी कह रहे थे कि अगर हम चुन करके आएंगे तो 100 दिन में महंगाई कम करेंगे। कहा था ना, कहा था ना। डीजल का क्या हुआ, पेट्रोल का क्या हुआ? मित्रों, गैस हो, पेट्रोल हो, डीजल हो, हर प्रकार से महंगाई बढ़ रही है कि नहीं बढ़ रही है? अच्छा, आपको ये याद है, लोग भूल जाते हैं इसलिए याद कराता हूं, वो हर 3 महीने से बयान देते थे बस 3 महीने में ठीक हो जाएगा। कहते थे कि नहीं कहते थे? इस बारिश के बाद ठीक हो जाएगा, कहते थे कि नहीं कहते थे? ऐसा कहते कहते 5 साल निकाल दिए ना। भरोसा इसीलिए तो टूट गया है, यही तो कारण है, भरोसा टूट गया है। रुपया अस्पताल में है, आईसीयू में पड़ा है। भाइयों बहनों, मुझे बताओ, भारत सरकार ने पिछले 3 महीने से हमें कहा है कि नहीं कहा है फिर से रुपया ठीक हो जाएगा, फिर से ताकत बढ़ जाएगी? कहा कि नहीं कहा? मित्रों, वो रोक पा रहे हैं? कोई निर्णय कर पा रहे हैं? कहने का तात्पर्य यह है मित्रों कि उन्होंने हिंदुस्तान की पूरी अवस्था पर से उनका कंट्रोल खो चुका है। उनका अगर कंट्रोल है तो सिर्फ सीबीआई पर है। थोड़ा बहुत है तो इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट पर है। वो आज देखेंगे, वीडियो आज रात को देखी जाएगी, क्या मोदी के साथ हाथ किसने मिलाया।
Today, folks, back on SWAT of the BJP. Strengths, I said, overrated. Weaknesses, many. We discussed one of the first weaknesses was farmers. Farmers is a weak spot because of the impact it has on the 100-odd seats in Western Union. That's the important part to note. And decades out there, and if these guys are not able to run the same divisive politics that they did during the riots that they created the last time, and the Hindus and Muslims and Dalits and Valmiki stay together, they're in somewhat of a trouble. However, the other big weakness, as you've seen from the tapes that I just started my narration, is economics. Is economics. Is inflation. Is unemployment. Is the price of petrol. What he has promised. That's the critical. See the video that he had before he won the first election. How did he go about saying that? Kabhi niche hue hain diesel ke price? Nahi. Now this should be played back in full volume by the opposition. However, couple of interesting points that we need to know. First is this piece of news that came out. Eye on polls, BJP holds UP MPs meet to plug communication gap. This is important. Folks, what you got to realize is this Lucknow court and Delhi court's been going on for a long time. Sometimes they are here, sometimes they are called here, sometimes these guys go there. You know, and as you remember, I said bum bum bum, and he was all praised for Yogi. But there is whispers on the ground that this is a grounds being laid out for a Yediyurappa repeat. A Yediyurappa repeat. More, I'm going to get into this when I deal with UP and the problems they're having, other weaknesses. But please remember this. This is probably being orchestrated to get Yogi out. The idea of getting all the MPs there, etc., etc. I'm told 150 people have signed off and will speak aggressively against Yogi. Similarly, apparently 150 people. It's important to note this is what the whole game plan is. There's another matter that 150 people have signed off to, at the officers to saying that they are not very happy with Modi and Shah either. But you've got to note this, keep remembering. Then this is what we have to worry about. You know, the way this Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are being appended by the opposition. They've got to remember, you know, too much of anything has diminishing returns. And what is critical is you got to nail them on two important things: COVID and economy. COVID and economy. You aren't going to get another chance unless these guys are thinking maybe we'll wait till December for the winter session. But it's important to nail them now. Because if you let them run away with this narrative, BJP, Rahul avoiding COVID discussion played with lights, if you allow this narrative to build, or what Sambit Patra with his mealy mouth Sambit Patra says, opposition doesn't want debate on COVID, says BJP. Everyone knows the result of such unity in UPS. So basically, the attempt is now to swing the narrative. You can't give them a chance. There has to be a shock and awe by the opposition. Suddenly, stop, go back to work and put these two things up for discussion, see what happens, right? This is the other thing that's obviously eventually is going to develop into a big weakness. 14 like-minded opposition parties show unity on Pegasus. It's important. This is going to play back eventually, and the focus has to be not the generation of 35. The focus has to be the youngsters for who the smartphone is their life. If they are told they are being hacked, these guys have got a problem. Now look at this, what Goa CM says. Why were minors out on beach late at night? Goa CM on gang rape. Why doesn't he ask the boys? Why not twist this question? Why the gang rape? Why can't the teenagers? Why can't the women be out on the beaches? Interesting. But here is the soft belly of this government, and we've got to catch it. Joblessness grows in cities, villages, says CMIE. COVID-19, the economic cause, he says, in short, the labor market faces a multi-pronged squeeze. And what it is the center has not offered much in terms of direct fiscal support, and its tax burden has become more regressive, will only worsen the situation. When he talks about a double squeeze, apparently it's not only the unemployment has gone up in urban areas, a lot of that's been compensated by increase in employment in the rural areas. But the problem with that is that the income in rural areas is far lower. So either way, demand and the disposable income is going down dramatically. And this is what happens if economic situation is dire. Snatchers run amok, save streets at premium. This is Delhi, probably in Bombay too. Spate of burglaries, the latest bane of capital, and this is coming on the top of the fact that car robberies have become rampant. But what do people do? Fuel, food prices keep inflation high at 6.26%. COVID ICU costs equal to 7-month pay for average Indian. This is the part that you've got to do. We are getting squeezed. The disposable income is getting squeezed. The demand is not out there. And what Manmohan Singh says is right. India's future economic path is tougher than 1991, Singh says. But then when you come with a superficial CEA Subramanian, recovery on India's GDP on course for 7% yearly growth. But do remember, this is a very important point I'm going to make. They certainly don't talk about real growth rate. They talk about the nominal growth rate. So this is net of inflation. This is gross of inflation. Folks, they have stopped talking about the real growth rate. They only talk about nominal growth rate, because when you put in 6% inflation into this, the real growth is only 1%, right? Now what do you have? Weekly business activity falls after 2 months, says Namira. This is going to happen, the blips, right? And IMF cuts India's growth forecast for FY22 to 9.5%. So they've got to 9.5%, and this is again, the real growth rate is 3%. And S&P, knowing what it's doing, S&P retains non-investable grade level for India's rating at BB, B minus. I'm not sure what we keep screaming about this government and all. Maybe the West is against us, right? But if things are so good, why would this happen? At 2.8 billion, companies invested 2 times more abroad last month. Hey, go figure. They invested they're not investing in our own country. And why? Because stimulus inadequate, 25% of MSME loans made default, says Pell. Then this is the challenge for all of us. a negative fiscal stimulus. A 2014 Petroleum Ministry survey shows that 60% of petrol is used by two-wheelers. The price of diesel has a cascading impact by transportation costs and costs of cultivation in agriculture. The government might be tempted to not cut taxes due to revenue considerations. However, it will do well to realize that its current fiscal approach is tantamount to a negative fiscal stimulus, as high petroleum prices are squeezing household budgets, and add to that if 60% of that is used, folks, by the middle class or the lower middle class. You are in jeopardy, right? And look at what Nitin Gadkari says. Gadkari, rise in petrol prices agitating people, and sure as hell it is. Folks, more after this.
की जुदाई मार गई, तीसरी हमेशा की तन्हाई मार गई, चौथी ये खुदा की खुदाई मार गई, बाकी कुछ बचा तो महंगाई मार गई, महंगाई मार गई, बाकी।
As you can see, the opposition needs a double-pronged attack. Got to keep nailing the government on unemployment, and the fact that it's acting like a robber baron. As the PC writes, the sovereign looks the other way. He says India's consumer price inflation has breached the upper limit. Core inflation has moved up in a month from 5.5% to 5.8%, and this is what hurts us, the people, the middle class, the lower middle class. Food inflation is at 5.58%. Pulses inflation 10.1%. Fruit inflation 11.82%. Transport inflation 11.56%. Fuel and light inflation 12.68%. And oils and fats inflation is 34.78%. And in my view, the inflation has not been caused by a spurt in demand, because there have not been any. This inflation has been caused by the wrong policies of the government, especially its tax policies. The three policies he said: first, taxes on petrol and diesel; second, high import duties; third, irrational rates in GST. He says what the government has ignored is that all the above taxes, cesses, import duties and GST, are indirect taxes that are regressive in the sense that they fall alike on the rich and the poor. Consequently, the burden on the poor is relatively more oppressive. The second aspect that is ignored is that these taxes fall on inputs and travel through the value chains and eventually push up the price of the final goods and services. The State Bank of India has warned the expenditure on fuel has crowded out other non-discretionary expenditures such as health, grocery, utility and services. Add health to this, and the poor man, the middle class man, even the partially rich man is now dead and gone, right? And then we have the other problem that is probably going to happen. Fiscal gap, fund outflows may put pressure on rupee in H2. God save Mr. Modi. Then you have second wave HDFC Bank cautious on retail business. Yeah, because individuals are suffering. I don't know whether anybody is going to be able to pay back their loans. Of course, big companies gain market share, but small businesses in distress. The bigger employee though is the small business, right? But then you have this possibility. Gujarat offers Tesla 1,000 acres in Mundra, but that's not going to happen if you continue to let this carry on. Kane dispute. India keeps legal talks option open, but everybody says bury the 2012 legacy. Kane latest move shows retrospective tax is causing great harm to India. Government of India should settle out of court immediately. Kane case. French court orders government's Paris properties frozen, and today in a very small note, the government agrees. Yes, they've lost the case in France. Go figure. Government mulls legal changes to settle Kane tax issue, and there is absolute urgency. Otherwise, all that this Piyush Goyal keeps jumbling about. Goyal wants 10 times jump in textile sector capacity. Goyal. He's more talk than action. He really actually doesn't know. I mean, there's no action where his mouth is. Right? EU, US oppose India's demand on fish SOPs against special and differential treatment for all developing countries. India must protect its fish resources close to its chest. It's a matter of life and death, folks. Jai Hind.